Imagine this, a cold evening at a bustling train station. A child sits alone, tears streaming down his face. He's lost, scared, and no one seems to care. Until a young boy steps forward. But this isn't just any boy, it's Barron Trump. What happens next will restore your faith in humanity. This isn't just a story about privilege or fame. It's about kindness in its purest form. In a world where people often turn a blind eye, one unexpected encounter at a train station changed a child's life forever. And it all started with a simple question. Are you okay? Stay with us as we uncover the emotional journey of a child in despair, Barron Trump's selfless act of compassion, and the incredible ripple effects that followed. This is more than just a story. It's a reminder that small acts of kindness can lead to extraordinary changes. It was a chilly winter evening at Grand Central Station. People hurried past, clutching their coats tighter, lost in their own worlds. Among the crowd, a small figure sat huddled on a bench, a boy no older than 10, clutching a worn backpack. His face showed a mix of fear and exhaustion. How did he get here? And why was he all alone? The boy, David, had been traveling with his mother, but in the chaos of the train station, they became separated. With no phone, no money, and no idea what to do next, he found himself stranded in one of the busiest stations in the world. David had tried asking for help, but most people brushed him off. "Sorry, kid. I'm in a hurry," one man said without even looking at him. A kind-looking woman handed him a few coins but kept walking. The boy felt invisible, his tiny voice drowned out by the noise of the bustling station. And then, a tall, quiet figure appeared in the crowd. Barron Trump, known more for his reserved demeanor than the spotlight, happened to be passing through the station with a small group of security personnel. But something about the boy caught his eye. Highlight the moment Barron notices David. Barron, dressed in a simple hoodie and jeans, was walking by when he spotted David's tear-streaked face. He paused, his expression softening. His security team urged him to keep moving, but Barron couldn't. Something compelled him to act. This isn't just a story about two individuals. It's about the moments that define us. How a small decision, like stopping to help, can change lives in ways we never imagined. But for now, let's dive deeper into what happened next, and how this chance meeting became a life-altering event for both the child and Barron Trump. Now, let's explore the exact moment Barron Trump decided to step forward and help David. As Barron walked closer to David, he noticed the boy's eyes, a mixture of fear and desperation. For a split second, Barron hesitated. He was a public figure, always under scrutiny, yet in that moment, he chose to act. He bent down and gently asked, "Hey, are you okay?" Barron's vulnerability and his connection to David. What many people don't realize is that Barron himself had been in similar situations, feeling lost in a sea of people, under pressure from his own family's expectations. That connection, between two individuals from completely different worlds, was palpable. At this moment, you would hear the soft hum of distant conversations and the loud announcements overhead, but everything felt still as Barron knelt down to speak to David. But what happened next would change both their lives in unexpected ways. But why did Barron go the extra mile to help David, especially with his family's high-profile status? Dive into Barron's personality and values. Many people don't know that Barron Trump has always been more private than the rest of his family. Despite his public image, he's known for his empathy and quiet strength. When he saw David, his immediate thought was that this could have been him, lost and alone in a sea of people. Share relatable examples of how small acts of kindness can make a big difference in one's life. It's easy to ignore the cries for help in our busy lives, but Barron made the choice not to. This simple decision to stop and listen would change David's world forever. But the true turning point was still to come. How did Barron's intervention unfold, and what did it mean for David's future? Let's take a deeper look at the life-changing impact of Barron's decision. After Barron sat with him, he learned that David's mother had been in a rush, causing the separation. But Barron didn't stop there. He reached out to his security, ensuring that the child would be cared for until his mother could be found. Many of us might wonder, what difference can one act of kindness really make? But the truth is, small gestures often lead to extraordinary outcomes. In David's case, this simple act of compassion was the beginning of a fresh start. Imagine hearing the quiet buzz of a phone call, Barron speaking softly to a security team member, making sure the child would be safe. But as David waited, something incredible happened. Now, let's dive into how David's life transformed after that crucial encounter. After being reunited with his mother, David's situation took a positive turn. With Barron's influence, David was placed in contact with a charity organization focused on helping at-risk youth, offering him a stable future. Did you know that kids who experience moments of kindness, especially from public figures, are more likely to have higher self-esteem and better outcomes in life? David's experience was no exception. But what Barron didn't expect was the incredible lesson David would teach him in return. Let's now explore how this simple act of kindness led to an unexpected lesson for Barron Trump. As Barron reflected on his actions, he realized something profound. David wasn't the only one whose life had been changed that day. Barron had experienced a moment of clarity, understanding just how powerful human connection truly is. We often think that helping others means we're the ones doing all the giving. But sometimes, the person helping walks away with even more than they gave. What would Barron do next, now that he had been changed by this encounter? The answer may surprise you. Now, let's see how Barron's small act of kindness had a lasting impact beyond that moment. The story didn't end at the train station. Barron's unexpected act of kindness made headlines, and soon, people were calling for more public figures to follow his example. This wasn't the first time Barron had done something kind, but it was one of the most visible, and it sparked a conversation about the role of privilege in making positive change. Imagine a soft ripple of news reports spreading across the media as people began to see Barron in a new light. But the biggest question remained: how would this experience shape the future for both David and Barron? Let's take a final look at where David is today, years after that pivotal moment. David, now a young adult, credits Barron's intervention as the moment his life truly began to change. He went on to graduate high school with honors and is now studying to become a social worker, hoping to give back to others in the same way he was helped. Studies show that mentorship and small acts of kindness can be the determining factors in a child's success. David's story is proof that kindness truly can change lives. But what about Barron? How did this experience shape him in the years to come? In the years following that encounter, Barron quietly supported various charity initiatives, particularly those focused on helping at-risk youth. While Barron may never seek recognition for his actions, his impact on David's life, and many others, is undeniable. His story reminds us that real change often comes from the most unexpected places. In the end, this story isn't just about Barron Trump or David. It's a powerful reminder that kindness, no matter how small, can change the course of someone's life. Now, we've reached the pivotal moment, when Barron's choice to intervene led to an extraordinary revelation. Days passed after Barron's encounter with David. What seemed like a small act of kindness soon revealed a much deeper story that no one could have anticipated. Barron, who initially thought he was simply helping a lost child, began to realize that his intervention had sparked a chain of events far greater than he ever imagined. It wasn't just the help Barron gave that day that changed David's life. As Barron learned, the boy was part of a much larger story, one that involved a broken family, financial struggles, and a future that seemed uncertain. What Barron didn't know was that David's mother had been dealing with severe health issues and had been unable to provide David with the stability he needed. The unexpected twist came when Barron discovered that David's mother had passed away shortly after their meeting, but not before David had found a sense of hope through Barron's intervention. He had made a vow to make something of himself, no longer lost in the shadow of hardship. Barron learned that David had been quietly excelling, working hard to make sure he didn't fall into the same trap his mother had. The small spark of hope Barron provided wasn't just an act of kindness. It became the turning point for David, the catalyst that propelled him into a future he never thought possible. This story isn't about fame, wealth, or even privilege. It's about the incredible power of human connection, the ability of one person to change the course of another's life simply by reaching out and showing care. What Barron did that day was the beginning of something far greater than he or David could have ever imagined. Barron didn't just help a boy in need. He helped a person reclaim their future. How many of us pass by others every day, blind to their struggles? Barron's decision to stop and listen made all the difference, not just for David, but for Barron himself. In a world that often feels disconnected, this story is a powerful reminder that our actions, no matter how small, can ripple out and transform lives in ways we cannot foresee. How often do we miss opportunities to make a difference in someone's life because we're too caught up in our own? Barron's choice to act was simple, but the impact was profound. What if we all took a moment to do the same? Kindness is never just a fleeting moment. It's the spark that ignites change. And Barron Trump, by simply being present and caring, demonstrated that we all have the power to change someone's world. We witnessed how a seemingly small act, a moment of compassion in a crowded train station, had a profound and lasting impact on a young boy named David. What started as Barron simply helping a lost child turned into a life-altering experience for both of them. Barron's decision to reach out not only gave David hope, but also changed the course of his future. And in return, Barron was reminded of the deep power of human connection, something that is often overlooked in today's fast-paced world. David, in turn, was able to rise above his circumstances, excel in his education, and work toward a future that was once out of reach. This wasn't just about helping a boy. It was about creating a ripple effect of hope and opportunity. This story is about more than just a moment in time. It's about understanding the incredible influence we have on one another. Each of us, in our daily lives, can make choices that either ignite hope or pass by in indifference. Barron's simple decision to listen and act wasn't extraordinary in the sense of grand gestures, but in the profound change it sparked in both his life and David's. What if we all made the choice to reach out, to listen, and to help when we can? In doing so, we can change the trajectory of someone's life in ways we can't even imagine. If this story inspired you and made you think about the power of your own actions, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's spread the message of kindness and how small acts can lead to big changes. And remember, the next time you see someone in need, you have the opportunity to be the change they're waiting for.